I don't think my parents are genuinely happy I'm getting married. Should I have a direct conversation addressing their avoidant behavior? My fiance and I are both 30 and have been together for 2 years. Earlier this year, he asked my parents for their blessing to marry me, and 3 months later, he proposed. My parents gave their blessing, but it felt more like an obligation than genuine approval. Neither of them seems interested in wedding planning. Whenever I try to share my happiness with them, they respond with worry, concern, or negativity. When we got engaged, I told my family via text since my fiancé and I were out of the country. My mom said, "Congratulations," and my dad said, "Wow." When I called them to share my excitement, they were very short with me. My dad didn't even get on the phone, and my mom only listened without asking any questions. This was completely different from my fiancé's family, who were thrilled and eager to hear all the details. Over the following months, my parents have made numerous negative comments like, "Oh, I preferred your ex. Are you sure you want to be married? It's not easy. It was easier to talk to your ex. I don't think your fiancé likes me, and I just don't understand why it didn't work out with you and your ex. I want to be happy and excited for this wedding. I found a respectful, loving person I want to navigate life with. If I were a parent, I imagine I'd be thrilled to see my child happy." Oh, I'm so sorry you're going through this, because it seems like your parents' opinion matters to you. But at this point, I think you have to move on. And now you will have your own little family, and you can focus on that. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I really want to get to 200 subscribers as soon as possible. My mom does not like the man I date. My mom doesn't like any guy I date, except for the only white guy I've dated. I am mixed with Mexican Caucasian, and my mom is fully Mexican. She's dated Hispanic men her whole life before my dad, but thinks they're different here in the States. I told her that a guy asked me out, and she automatically became hysterical. "Oh, let me guess, he's Mexican. I just hope he's not Cuban." He's from another Hispanic country. She goes on and on. She asked if he has a degree, and I told her not yet, because he just became a resident since he was part of a program that aided him through high school and employment. I told her what he does for work, and she asks, "That's all he does?" She then gets upset on how he's just starting his life. I am too. I am halfway done with my bachelor's, don't have a stable job, but I make good money, and I want to enjoy my 20s without my mom's impossible expectations of me being successful before I'm 30. My only ex-boyfriend she has liked was white and did not believe me when I told her he was physically and verbally mistreating. She barely believed me when I told her he mistreated physically his most recent girlfriend, and she hopes he gets better. She says she wants the best for me and the culture does not matter, but she judged him before knowing any details about him. My dad is the reason why she had a great life in the States. He set the bar high for me on how men should treat a woman. Moving out is not an option. I'll be living paycheck to paycheck, and I don't think my mom has much time left. My dad passed a few years ago, so fighting is so pointless to me. She's being cold and distant, and as if I did something wrong. Should I be detached and unbothered with her to see if she comes around? Should I just try to be happy and ignore her ignorance? Exactly, just live your life and she will come around. Because seems like she loves you, she's just very particular. I ruined my mom's day off. Yesterday, I was talking casually to my mom. I brought up my appointment to a skin clinic on Saturday and asked my mom if that would be okay. The appointment was initially on Friday, but due to mom's busy work schedule, I had to postpone the appointment until the next day. My mom said that my dad had to go too, and I said that he couldn't because I'm only allowed one parent to go with me, not my rules. She said she was terrified of driving there alone because it's too far. It's half an hour away. And she might scratch the car that my dad paid for. I told her that I had the postcode so she won't get lost. But she still refused to go without my dad. I told her again that only one was supposed to go and Dad would be waiting in the car for a very long time. I am also kinda nervous about telling Dad about me going to the skin clinic. He doesn't know yet. Because I don't feel comfortable with telling him about my insecurities because I know he's very well capable of making fun of me. This is where things spun out of control. Mom started getting mad and yelling that she won't be going without Dad and that I'm selfish for telling her now that the appointment has been rescheduled. When she refused to go on Friday, she said that I should make my own way there, and I told her that it's their rules and I must have an adult there with me. She kept yelling at me and calling me selfish, etc. I don't understand why she got like this, because she knows that I have an appointment and I almost missed out altogether when I was rescheduling for her sake. I also needed to have this conversation because I need to pay a deposit, which is non-refundable, so I didn't want to lose a ton of money if we couldn't make it. I also want to add that this is all coming out of my money, so it's not like I'm roping my mom into paying for something expensive. I look through the comment and seems like OP will ask her father to go with her anyway because her mom is being hysterical at this point. Am I selfish for wanting my own life? I am 18 and I started working and living on my own when I was 16. For different reasons, I will have to move in with my mother who is now separated and my younger brother. I will of course pay half of the bills and pay for my own stuff, but I feel like I was never treated with respect. I find myself switching back from my younger self and the adult me constantly due to my mother's behavior, which I think is quite immature. She finally left my father, who has been mistreating towards us and especially her, one of the reasons I left home at that time. My mother would always talk about how independent she would be and how she would get her stuff together once she's away from him. She always depended on me emotionally, since I was 6 years old, includes discussing things and asking advice. She can never make her own decision and asks my input. However, when I want to go on a solo holiday or spend time with my friends, she tells me, "I give you too much freedom. How dare you being selfish?" It has always been like this. Keep in mind that I work and a lot of the times I cannot stay on the phone for too long, obviously. While I'm at work, she asks me to do stuff for her and she gets frustrated if I don't. I can never have an adult conversation with her. She feels like her authority is being questioned and thinks I am disrespectful, and I find it ironic since she would always come to me with her problems and expect me to understand why she behaved the way she did due to the stress in her marriage. I was never understood or guided and has to basically raise myself up. If I ever made any mistake, small or big, it would always end up very badly, and nothing was tolerated, while my father's behavior was always accepted no matter how bad it was. I never understood this, and I asked myself, why is she angry at a child who hasn't learned instead of an adult that should know? I feel guilty and overwhelmed when I distance myself. I'm in limbo with my younger self and my adult self. I can call myself that. I understand being 18 does not mean I am an adult, but I've been living alone without support since I was 16. Am I right to feel this way? Or am I truly selfish, as my mother said? I just want to do my own thing and avoid arguments. I feel like now that I'm legally an adult, it's also time for me to find myself as an individual, and my mother should accept that it's time for her to stop disciplining me and just advise me, since at the end of the day, she's still my mother. I went through public humiliation and physical mistreatment when I was young. Well, the humiliation bit hasn't stopped. I just want to be respected as an adult and as someone who will pay half of the bills, so technically she cannot say under my roof, since we are both paying. I feel like she's trying to teach me things when the time for me to learn those specific things have already passed. I'm not a child anymore. I did need guidance at one point like every child, but during that time both of my parents were too busy arguing. I was expected to stand up in front of my mother if my father ever tried to be physically mistreating, and she was said once, when this happened while I was sleeping, I'm a heavy sleeper and I didn't notice. I told her multiple times to break up with my father since I was 9 years old, and she kept twisting my words, saying I never said that and that I was too young to understand that anyways. Am I wrong for wanting respect and be treated as an adult even if we still share a roof? No, of course you're not wrong. But I do not think that your mother will change. So you'll just have to deal with it and hopefully try to live your own life. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also watch that awesome video or this awesome playlist. See you next time!